What's up, hobby friends, and welcome back to Paint Bravely, the podcast where you can find a little bit of encouragement, discover new ways to make your hobby more fun, and most importantly, learn to paint bravely. Now, I unfortunately have COVID currently, so I do apologize if there's any, sickness involved. It's been an interesting last few days. Things are getting better though. So yeah, not terrible. So I think I feel pretty lucky about that. But I have been getting a lot of hobby done, and that's been good. But before we get into anything further, as we like to do, I'm gonna hand it on over to co-host Brent over here and say, what's up, man? How you been? What you been up to?
Hello. Well, look, I hope you get better soon. You're sounding okay to me right now, so
it's good.
I think you're going to hold your end for this podcast here. This one's going to be a good one, folks. It's going to be a good one.
It's a good one. I feel it.
I'm packing up for Gen Con. You're not going to Gen Con. You were going to go to Gen Con. We're going to be Gen Con buddies, but for some reason, you're bailing now, but... That's where I'm at in my life.
Yeah, I physically am emotionally upset that I can't go. And it's not actually technically because of COVID, because like realistically, I'm sure I'll test clean before I would get on the airplane, right? But I'm also trying to sell my house right now, and luckily, we did actually get an offer today, and we put an offer on a house, so it's kind of all like culminating into this whole thing of I'm going to end up moving, and it's going to be like we're doing stuff during that time. And I felt like as much as I want to go, I have other things that are just more pressing right now, which sucks.
Well, I'm excited for you. Yeah, I don't need you checking your phone constantly while we're doing a pickup game at Gen Con.
We're doing a one-shot D&D. Fill me in.
And Casey's just on his phone the whole time, putting in counter offers. We don't need any of that.
Yeah, that's probably what would be happening too. It's like, oh, check out this thing. I need you to sign this. Like, yeah, I've been getting emails like every day nonstop. So. Yeah, it's a bummer, so I'm sorry that I will miss all of you guys at Gen Con. I was really hoping to hang out again, so yeah. But we got this podcast, so yeah, let's talk about some hobby stuff. Podcast.
Okay. I had a really good day today, Casey. Can I tell you all about it?
Yes, you can.
Okay. All right. So one of the fun perks of being a YouTuber is that you can email a variety of people and be like, hey, if I called you, would you pick up the phone? And a surprising number of people say yes. So today I got to talk to, wait for it, one of the engineers at the Archon Studio plastic casting manufacturing company. The company that makes dungeons and lasers and the Ramparts terrain, and they've got a whole bunch of other stuff coming out too.
But... high quality plastic minis.
Yeah. So these guys are located in Poland. They all speak great English, or the folks I've talked to over there all speak great English.
The ones they let talk on the phone, yeah.
Much better than my Polish. That's 100% sure. Anyway. I got to have a 2-hour conversation with somebody who knows the ins and outs of casting plastic models. And it was the highlight of my week, maybe my month. I had so much fun.
Well, after all cutting up all those sprues, you're arm's length, elbow deep in polystyrene. Like, that's a little bit on top, a little extra. It's nice.
So, yeah, I just had like pages of questions for this guy, and he was answering them all. Like, he was being forthcoming and straightforward with the answers, and I was not expecting that. Like, try calling up GW and asking for the details of the manufacturing process.
They're like, no. Yeah, they would probably not want to share that information because, how much does an actual mold cost, and all that kind of stuff is not something they want to share, because I think that they make it seem like it's very expensive, like extremely expensive.
Right. And I got a little bit of information about how the GW process is a little bit different than the process at other companies. But anyway, I am definitely going to make a video at some point about the ins and outs of high impact polystyrene casting and model making. And oh man, this guy even volunteered to like get me behind the scenes photos and videos and stuff. So I'm just on cloud nine.
Yeah,
having a great day.
That'll make a video for sure. Yeah.
But to kind of tease this, I wanted to share sort of two of the nuggets of really fun information that I got today.
Mm-hmm.
So, first off, polystyrene, and I suspected this before. Polystyrene is not gray. Polystyrene is white. Like most organic compounds, it's colorless, clear white. It's either you add a specific dye to it on purpose, or there's some weird impurities in there that maybe make it yellow or something. Something's decaying in there, gets yellow. So, the fact that all of our sprues or most of our sprues are gray is intentional. That is white pellets of polystyrene that have been mixed with a couple of % of dark gray pellets, essentially, color pellets. And the reason for that is white models do not show up well on a camera. Mm-hmm. White models look like absolute garbage. And for anyone who has been doing some 3D printing, and if for some reason you bought white resin, you know this.
Yeah, I have done that before. I've bought white resin and yeah, it you can't tell. Like it's you do a print and you're like, I don't know if this is quality or not. Like, you literally can't see it. Right. Yeah. And
if you squint, you can be like, okay, both of the arms printed, both of the legs printed. And that's about it until you prime it to be able to actually see the mini. But yeah, white printer resin just reflects all the light back in your eye, it burns your retina, and you just...
it's no good.
Well, there's a model, yeah.
Yeah, there's something there. Yeah, it's funny, it never occurred to me that that's the case, even though I've had plenty of sprues that are like red or yellow or blue. Like, it seems like that's just how that would work. But I don't know, never occurred to me.
Gray plus red is mostly red. Maybe that's how it worked. Yeah.
Right, yeah, I don't know. I don't even know. Or they just used red pellets.
Right. Another clue was that probably if you've been doing this for a while, you've seen different shades of gray in terms of your sprue collection.
Yeah.
Even for the same model, like even for the same cast, you buy one in 1995 and then you buy the same thing they're still selling in 2012, and you got a couple of different shades of gray on that rhino, you know?
Yeah.
And that's just a mix and ratio. That's the follow-up question I gotta ask. Are they adding black pellets or gray pellets? That's a question. Dark gray pellets or black pellets?
It's a good question.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It's probably black, though. It doesn't matter at all. It is completely irrelevant. Like, you got to call him back. Like, hey, man, I totally forgot. I need to know this information.
Well, that was the thing. I got to talking to Jarek over at Archon Studio, and I just had this list of questions. We were going at it for a while, and he was starting to look a little bit tired towards the end of the phone call, but I kept going, and it was just like, oh man.
Like, he's just being super polite.
Yeah, super polite. I'm like, what about brown sprues? What do you put in those?
How do you do that? No. Like, he doesn't want to answer these questions. Highlight of your week, he's like, oh god, another one of these guys.
No, it was a great conversation because he appeared enthusiastic throughout the entire time.
For sure, yeah.
But I definitely kept doing, ooh, one more question. Oh, I got this other thing. Yeah. So, but independently, I had definitely figured out that white models look like garbage, and then, mostly through 3D printing, and then either the actual color of the resin, or then priming what came out of a 3D printer I had independently figured out that, yeah, gray is really the best color to be photographing a bear mini.
Mm-hmm.
And, yep, that's why our sprues are gray. There you go.
I mean, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
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 You got any other, I mean, it was like a 2-hour conversation. You got any other sweet nuggets of polystyrene goodness?
I'll give you one more nugget.
All right.
I'll give you one more nugget. All right. So, the molds, one of the reasons they're expensive is because they're metal molds that go through thousands and thousands of casts, really hundreds of thousands of casts of whatever the sprue is. And so the way they are made is there's a computer, CAD program to lay out the minis and the bits on a sprue pattern, essentially. And you got your experts to figure out what the layout is going to be so that the plastic is most likely to actually squeeze out from the injection point into all the corners and end up where you want it.
Mm-hmm.
Which sounds like that takes a whole lot of experience, too.
Yeah.
Of making sure that there's not like dead areas in the sprue and making sure the right amount of material is actually going to flow out. But anyway, once you have the CAD layout of what you want the sprue to look like, you take that over to a CNC engraver, essentially, and you put in a rectangle, if they use aluminum, put in a rectangle of aluminum, tell the CNC to get to work and cut you out a mold for that sprue. And apparently, so there's two halves of the sprue, two slabs of aluminum that'll be placed together.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently running at 24 hours a day, it takes about 5 days, somewhere in there, to cut out each half of the sprue. And so, it gets tossed around a lot that the tooling to make hips plastic models takes a lot of work, and the setup cost is really high. Well, one of those costs is you have 2 CNC engraving machines running for at least 5 days to cut out the mold tools.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that's like highly accurate. I mean, that's insane that a CNC machine would be that accurate to get like smooth, like a face or something, right?
Yeah.
Like in order to get that detail. Yeah, I could see that taking quite a bit of time for something to be made like that, especially cutting out aluminum.
Yep. So what I was told is that it starts with a big drill bit to kind of get the crude shapes going.
Mm-hmm. And
then the robot switches to smaller and smaller drill bits. Or I don't know what they're called. I call them drill bits, but I don't know what I'm talking about. But the
engraver majiggers that go down and engrave.
Spinny tool.
Yeah. Bits of some sort.
Well, the robot is using some sort of Dremel. I'll tell you that. I know
right.
that.
It's got to be something, right? Something. Follow-up question.
Follow-up question. Is it actually a Dremel?
Yeah. What is this called? Also, not relevant, not important.
And so apparently the final, smallest drill bit sizes end up being at either 0.3 or 0.2 millimeters.
Okay.
So which is, that's the fine detail of the faces and stuff. But interestingly, and this does match up with what I was told when I was hanging out with the COcast guys, is that is still less resolution than what you get on a 3D printer. Mm-hmm. So nominally on a very average 3D print these days, on a very average resin print, the resolution is about 0.05 millimeters. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's definitely getting to a point where maybe you can't really tell the difference between 0.2 and 0.05 millimeters. Mm-hmm. But if you get the metal casters and the COcast people and the 3D printers and the hips people and I don't know, 2-part pouring resin people.
Sure.
There's probably some more people. You get all these people together and they start arguing about why their way is the best. get them PVC people over there too. You get all these people together. Yeah. Get the wood carving people. Get all these people together.
Wood carving. What kind of resolution is that?
About why their models are the best and the pros and the cons. Clearly, high density polystyrene has a lot of advantages, but it's just interesting to hear that the limit on the resolution, I guess, for the 3D printer, that's determined by the stepper motor for the Z-axis on the 3D printer, and it's determined by the pixel density of the screen on the 3D printer. But for the CNC machine, that's just how tiny that little drill bit is.
Yeah.
And two very different technologies, but oh man, apparently the 3D printer has a little bit of advantage there, whether you can spot it or not with your eyeballs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're getting so close to that where, you look at an 8K printer, versus even a printer that's 2K a couple of years ago. Like, it's pretty hard to tell the difference. And especially once you paint the model, there's a little extra detail. Like, we're not seeing the leaps that we were. So it's catching up. But then, I don't know. Like, the actual material itself is not polystyrene.
Exactly.
It's not the best to work with. And I think that's really the limitations of 3D printing in general. It's just not the best material to work with for minis. So
it's not as durable. You can't glue it together with plastic glue. It takes 4 hours to print instead of 30 seconds to inject. There's pros, but then you gotta get that plastic glue and glue it together for the next 6 hours. So
right.
Pluses and minuses.
That's true. Yeah, you never know. Well, that's pretty cool, though. I mean, that's nice. You got to learn about all the plasticky stuff.
Yeah, man, I'm going to think about that conversation. I'm going to make a new list of questions and see if Jared keeps taking my phone calls or not.
Just keep calling, just say hi.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. I would like to make a mini. How do I do that? Yeah. I mean, you could take some minis and have them CNC out your head 100 times in different whatevers and have a sweet Brent head mold.
Yeah, get all my birthday and Christmas money for the past 36 years and bring that on over to Poland. And
right, yeah. You might be able to get one sprue.
I would like some plastic minis of me, please. Yeah.
I mean, I think that would be pretty cool.
What a life I lead. That's not that far away from being reality. I know. But
in reality, it's like, well, I could make that decision. Like, the question is, do you want to? I think it's a good idea, though.
Don't encourage me, Casey. That's not.
I mean, it is sort of encouraging you, but it's definitely encouraging everyone else to use your head on their armies. That's what I want to see. I want to see a clone army of Brents.
Don't do well with peer pressure, Casey. Don't do this.
Good. That means it's not going to take long. You signed my petition, right?
I did sign your petition to bring Rapmen to 40K.
Yeah.
Which apparently is already a thing in one-page rules, so you gotta pay attention.
I already knew that. That's not the point, is it? I'm not asking to bring rats to one-page rules. Like, come on.
Okay.
That's literally not the thing. That's not what I said.
Okay.
Are there Ratmen in 40K? No. No, there aren't.
No, there aren't. You're right. But I was number like 615 on that petition. So
yeah, I think it's up to like 740, 50 now somewhere.
Ooh.
It's getting there. We're almost at that gonna get on the whatever the featured page or something. I don't know. That's what it told me.
Bring that on over to Eddie Eccles and throw that down on his desk.
I plan to.
He does not take my calls.
No. Like at a certain point, I don't know when, probably whenever it's not getting any movement anymore, I'm just gonna like forward it to a bunch of employees at Games Workshop just to see what happens. Like, you want to set up a call? We can talk. I have 800 people who want to talk. You know what I mean? Yeah, I like that. I think that's a good way to go. Be heard.
Did you crack the email code over at Games Workshop? First initial, last name
Right.
at gamesworkshop.com. That's
Yeah.
not the real one. Don't send people that.
No, it's fine. Yeah. I'll figure something out.
You're fighting the good fight. I'm happy.
That's the way I feel about it. Yeah. Oh man. So you had that fun conversation. You been doing any hobby, or you still just cutting sprues and painting Dark Eldar?
I put my sprues back in the basement. I'm
Really?
done for a little while.
Okay.
That's all I was doing. I was cutting them up. I was putting them in a smaller box.
Guess you have
putting them in fewer boxes and smaller boxes, and then putting them right back in the basement.
All right, fair enough. Like, that's fair. You had a task. You took care of it. Like, it's a little house cleaning, housekeeping, and you're done. This project over.
Done.
Took me 2 weeks to clip these sprues. Just put them right back in the box.
Man, I've been working on secret projects over here, Casey. You don't need to expose things yet. We want to keep some things undercover over here. Why don't you pull attention now and talk about what you've been up to?
Let's see. I went to Disneyland. That was pretty cool.
Hey, you didn't get any sprue clipping done at Disneyland, did you?
No, but I did get COVID, so, you know.
I'm glad we can laugh about it now.
Yeah, I
Too
mean...
soon?
No, I feel better, but I don't know. I could take a turn. I don't know. We'll see. No, like, I don't know if I got it from there, because, like, I mean, I have to assume I did, right? Like, I was in an airport, I was at Disneyland for multiple days, like, didn't start really feeling bad until pretty much when we were going home. But yeah, I wasn't sick while I was there, so I felt pretty good. Haven't been there in a while. It really got me thinking, though, like, I really don't like taking breaks, like, from doing hobby stuff. And, like, I didn't bring anything with me to, like, do any hobby, because, it's like, okay, family vacation type thing. Like, we're there for other things, but it's still, like, it kind of gets at me a little bit. Like, I don't like being away from, like, doing, I don't know, work, I guess. I don't know how else to put it. Like, it's just... that's what I do. That's my thing. I tend to like forget things, and like I forget where I put stuff in my office, So I come back and I'm just all discombobulated. I have no idea what's going on. I gotta like pick something new to paint for the week and start filming, and I'm just, I don't know, like taking too long of a break kind of sucks.
You lose the flow.
Right. Yeah, it definitely feels like that. Like, because before I left, I was getting prepared to leave, so I was like 4 weeks ahead, more like 3. But I had a video done, another one was in the can, it was uploaded, like sponsors spots were done, everything's good to go. And then we started getting into the whole house thing, so kind of lost a bunch of time there. But then like, okay, cool, we can go on vacation, I don't have to think about it. And now that I'm back, it's like everything's just dumped on me all at once. I got everything to do, and it's like, man, that's like overwhelming hobby.
It is an interesting point of once you stop being in that daily routine or whatever your periodicity is there of hobbying. Like if you get away from that, sometimes it is a little bit hard to get back to it. Or once you kind of break the habit, interrupt the flow, it can be a little hard to get back into. You forget where you put your tools. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, even a few days gone, it's like if I'm in the middle of something, like I don't feel as motivated to get stuff done, Even when I came back, so I've been working on this Sonic Dreadnought from Forge World. And it's like this whole Emperor's Children thing. It's like pinks and yellow, or was it pinks and purples? Yeah. Bunch of gold. I don't
know what a Sonic Dreadnought is.
Okay. So you know what a Venerable Dreadnought is?
The boxy one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Same thing. But like the Noise Marines. You remember the Noise Marine kit that came out not that long ago? So there's a whole like sub-faction in the Emperor's Children army of basically Noise Marines. They're all playing instruments. They have sonic weapons. It's a whole thing. It's really cool. Like super unique. They don't give a shit about it anymore, of course, because it's too cool. But I have this old Forge World Sonic Dreadnought. It's got like big ass speakers on its boxy, shoulders. And it's like this huge ass gun with like a speaker at the end, which is really cool. And then randomly a giant chainsaw, because why not? But yeah, like I was just picking it up and like it had a lot of work to be done on it anyways, but like I was just having such a hard time like figuring out like the process of like doing anything, like painting it even. It's just like for some reason it's like I lost all my training and ability to like follow through on a paint job, and it's like, this is stupid. It's not even that big of a deal. But yeah, like that flow state kind of thing, like you're in it, even if you're hobbying, a couple times a week, like if you miss a day, all of a sudden it's a lot easier to miss the next day. Right. And then the next day, it's like anything, right? Like working out or, eating healthy or something. It's like, you're going to miss it and then you're just going to be like, it fell off, whatever, But I noticed that for me in particular, it's I got to like continue to be up on it, So it kind of plays into like not going to Gen Con too. Like I feel like I'm missing out on continuing like this hobby journey that I'm on because I'm going to miss this thing, which like isn't true. But I feel that. In
some ways, Gen Con's a little bit disruptive because you're away from your painting desk.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, like even Adepticon was like that.
Buying minis. Oh, yeah. Sure, you're getting excited about the hobby. Sure, you're playing D&D one-shots. You're seeing old pals, but you're away from your painting desk. You're not getting no hobby done.
That's true. Although I did feel at Adepticon, like being surrounded by that so much kind of kept it even, right? Because I'm still thinking about it. We're still talking about it, doing. But like going to Disneyland, like I'm not talking about Warhammer. Although I had this weird interaction with somebody who I'm 99% sure he recognized me. It's like in the line somewhere at Disneyland, and he like looks at me and like does that whole double take thing, right? I'm like, okay, I know that double take, and I'm like over with my family and stuff, and he's just like staring. I'm like, come on, dude, just I don't know, like I don't want to be the guy to be like, oh hey man, so hey, I'm me, yeah, because that's weird, right? But like I'm pretty sure I had that eye contact recognition thing, because he kind of like was a little wide-eyed for a second. It was pretty funny. Yeah.
Maybe that's what happened. Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe. Who knows? Could have had a bee on my head. I don't know.
Well, one of the first recognitions in public is at Disneyland. Maybe. 99%.
It's like that look, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm talking about. Like, I think it's happened before, obviously, like in a hobby shop or something. Somebody does that double take, and they generally are like, well, I'm in a hobby shop, I might as well ask, because seems like that makes sense. But yeah, at Disneyland, it's insane. I don't know.
It gotten too big, Casey.
Oh yeah, so huge, so huge.
So since you've gotten back and you're selling your house, you've kind of glued a dreadnought together. Is that your entry back into hobby?
Pretty much. I mean, I did finish it. Like it's all painted and he's good to go.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's looking pretty slick. All Sonic-y and pink and whatnot. Yeah. Like it's not my favorite paint job, and there are a lot of issues with the model because it was like really like I don't know if somebody just stepped on it a bunch or poured, I don't know. There's somebody poured something on it too. There's like glue everywhere that I can't get off. I don't know if it's melted the resin or something. Something not good. It was donated to me a while back. Man, I have a box in my closet, and it is legitimately, I can see it from here, it is labeled the weird stuff. And it is a large box of mostly hot glued minis. And I'm not talking like a little bit of hot glue. I'm talking like it is mostly hot glue and Games Workshop parts. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're rescuing from eBay. You get that hot glue sometimes.
That's true. And I have certainly gotten my fair share of hot glue over eBay. These were donated to me by someone in Canada. And I'm not sure, like I was asking him what the deal was, and he's just like, oh, I don't really care what they look like. It's more of I use them for whatever. So it's like super slapdash paint, hot glue, like to keep the model from falling over because it won't stand hot glued. It's like there's a washer hot glued to the bottom, so it's like heavy, that kind of thing. And I don't know. He was telling me like it's just what I do. I'm like, all right, you get your hobby gone. That's fine. But yeah, it's a big box of a bunch of weird stuff, man. Someday I'll get it out. I don't think I can fix any of it. Like, legitimately, I think it's gone.
I mean, you need a good challenge for eBay miniature rescues. Sometimes you gotta just challenge yourself.
Yeah.
Can't be all easy repaints. Sometimes you gotta get the hot glue challenge.
I've had some good ones. I've had some good, like, real busted up models before. Like,
yeah, you have.
Like, the Dreadnought was one of the more, like, in-depth models because you can't find parts for it anymore, right? Because it's old, out of print, out of production. They have the new cool looking Dreadnoughts that they've had for a while. I mean, they have like one version of like, it's like a Salamander's Venerable Dreadnought or something, but it's not, doesn't have any of the same markings, of course. So there's just nothing you can get out there. And unfortunately, the only thing I could find was like a recast of the model. And I've been looking for parts for I've had this model for a couple years and I've been wanting to do something. I finally just found that on eBay and it was like $20 and it had all the parts that I needed. Weirdly missing a couple of parts in the recast kit. I don't know why. But I ended up like kind of treating it like a 3D print where, I cut off everything else and just use the part I need to fix the piece. Yeah, because I'm not a huge fan of recasting, for a lot of reasons. But in this case, it was pretty much the only solution that I could find.
That seems honorable. I mean, there's the whole debate about recasting, and personally, it hasn't touched my life very much at all. As far as I know, I've seen very few recasts. As far as I know, it's like in the scale of things, it's not a big issue. I could be very wrong, but it's there seems to be more discussion about it than, to me, it seems like it's actually a problem, but I don't know.
It's hard to say. I mean, because, Games Workshop, just because they're the ones you hear about, they do go after people. They do go after recasters, and there are, legal actions being taken. And a lot of people want to say, well, they're such a huge company, it's not affecting them, whatever. But, the smaller games that get recast, I've been reading a bunch of stuff on it, and I guess there are a lot of like smaller games, independent games, that do get recast and sold, and like even a small amount of that, if it's like one person making limited edition models, like there are a couple of like one person studios out of like Spain and Poland and that kind of thing that do that. And like if somebody recasts one of their models, right, it's like, well, I only made 500 of those and now there are 1,200 in existence. It kind of ruins the collectability of that item, right? Like it might not hurt technically,
that example
but it
is
does
obviously
ruin that.
not great.
Yeah, and I mean that's mostly what I've been finding is it's like, yeah, Games Workshop, no, they're not hurting from it. That's not really affecting them like their bottom line, right? But there are a lot of people that are being affected that you might not even realize. So it's interesting. I'm planning on including a lot of that in the video about this model because obviously it is a recasting. And there are some interesting like legalities around that too, like because a lot of people think that, oh well, if I use it for personal use, like if I recast it myself to use for me, and that's technically still not okay depending on what country you're in, kind of thing. There's a bunch of stuff. Anyways, this isn't supposed to be about recasting, but just having to use all those.
As long as you don't broadcast it in a very public format like Paint Bravely the podcast.
Oh yeah.
But no, from a purely ethical point of view, using a recast as spare parts for an original legit cast, actually that seems pretty reasonable. That seems pretty reasonable to me.
It feels reasonable. Yeah. It does. Like, I mean, something that's like that, it's just busted, it's gone. I mean, I even left some of the damage because using the part or part of the thing that was actually damaged would have caused me to use a lot more of the recast than I actually wanted to, that I felt comfortable doing. So there are parts of this model that just look kind of crappy. But you know what, like I figure this is still 99% the original model, even if it's busted right here. Like it's painted, it looks pretty good, it's playable, nobody could really complain about it. So like the damage is fine, right? Like I feel good about it almost, like it's fine. I know it's original,
Yeah. Sue the dinosaur, the T-Rex that's in the Smithsonian. That's like 90% real dinosaur bits. And then in like little letters they'd be like, oh, the other 10% we just like put some food wrappers in there. Like we just put some the rest of that's just paper mache. We're not telling you which ones, but
they're not going to tell you.
It's mostly legit. Don't worry about it. There's a little bit of paper mache, a little bit of plaster in there. It's like mostly Sue.
Yeah,
it is mostly the coolest find in all paleontology.
Mostly.
But also there's some plaster of Paris in there. Yeah. And
it doesn't say Chinese what parts it is though, right? It literally doesn't say. So it could be like the last bone in the tail, or that tooth up there.
I mean, I think it's all publicly available information. I'm not sure what the actual plaques say in front of the dinosaur. Like,
turns out the skull completely fabricated. We just made that shit up. Yeah. Just replace it with a giant parrot head. That's actually what a T-Rex looks like. Yeah. The more of these they find, they're just finding out all more information about this. Like, we've been wrong all these years.
Yeah. But if you've got a legit cast that was properly sourced, and you've got your little certificate of authenticity, but you're missing some bits, and you just kind of fill those in from wherever,
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. I'm not going to judge you for that, Casey. I think that's okay by me.
Feel better. Yeah. Well, that's mostly what I've been working on. That's been a pretty big project. It took me a whole day to just tear it down and rebuild it. So like it was an in-depth rescue, I think a majority of the video that I'm making is actually just gonna be about that, like just tearing it down and rebuilding. Because the painting is like, it's fine, but it's really not that complicated. It's a big box with some weapons on it. It's not like fancy, So yeah, been doing that. I've been really trying to keep my space from getting too dirty at the same time, which that's been a little bit difficult. So when you do sell your house, you have people like your real estate agent can book showings, or a real estate agent can book showings for people who are interested in your house, right? So you have to have your house pretty clean all the time, and like everything is kind of staged so it looks kind of like a model home, if you will. And that includes my office. Like, I did a lot of work beforehand to get it to looking pretty good. And I've had to keep it that way. And it's been like really difficult because I'm the kind of person that when I start a project, like everything comes out because I need it right here, right now. It's like I need to be able to grab it. And like for some reason, okay, yeah, I miss a couple of days of hobby work, whatever you want to call it. And like I forget where everything is. But I'll take everything out and put it every which way in this room. And I'm going to be like, I need that thing from over there. Oh, it's right here. You know, I got that. It's like, it's that whole flow thing of just like, I got to spread out. I got to get my stuff in a work environment. Like it kind of keeps me motivated, like as the paint comes out, you know? But trying to do that and be clean is super hard. I don't know if you have this issue. Like how clean your space is, you know?
So normally between projects, I actually really do enjoy putting my paints back on the racks and everything. To a point, at least pushing the paintbrushes over to the side sometimes and put it in a little jar or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, in between projects, I actually really do like to neaten up my desk. But once I start a project, I'm pulling paints out. And then I'm keeping them out. I'm keeping them off of my racks right in front of me on my desk. Because, like, this is the green I'm using. I don't want to forget what green I'm using.
Right. Accidentally grab
these
some other
green. These are the 8
green.
browns that I'm using. I don't want to forget what all these browns that I'm using are.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's like, you know, that's the active use stuff, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And until I am done with that paint job and ready to varnish it, all those browns are staying on my desk.
Right, yeah.
And it will be a celebration when I say I'm done with this mini and I get to put them all back. But while I am in the middle of a paint job, yeah, I got stuff all over the place.
Heck yeah. Do you think that it's like, I don't know, do you need to have it be messy in order to like make it work?
No,
like make the hobby process work?
I would much rather have things be clean, but it's just the mess happens, and I don't want to put things away because I think I'm still going to be using them.
Okay.
No.
See, I feel like the mess helps me work.
Really?
Yeah, like it feels like I'm getting something done. There's like something to show for that, right?
Huh.
And in this case, because I'm having to put things away at kind of random times, I'm being robbed of the final cleanup, because I do enjoy that. Like when I'm done, the model's up, I put it on the shelf, like, yes, time to clean the space, you know? Like clean it all up, put everything away, wipe everything down. Oh, it's so satisfying. But I've been like 3 or 4 times now, it's like I've just been robbed of that satisfaction. And then which pink did I use? I don't remember. I don't know.
They're like, hey, you keep nailing those Hot Wheels up to your door. Take that down. Take those Hot Wheel tracks down again. What did I tell you, Casey? Like, nobody wants to buy that. We gotta open that door. Show them you got a backyard. Yeah.
I still don't think anybody's opened that door, but yeah.
All for nothing.
Yeah, pretty much. I think they would have been impressed by my epic Hot Wheels track.
Oh, I'm sorry. The house doesn't come with the epic Hot Wheels track.
All right, so get this, right? Like we got an offer that we're sending back because one of the things that they put in their offer was, can we have your refrigerator? That is now part of our deal. It's like, okay. What the hell are you talking about? No, you cannot have my refrigerator.
Those are heavy, you know. Like you're gonna have to get a dolly, straps. You're going to have to put like a weightlifting belt. You're still going to end up going to the emergency room.
Right. Those belts don't work. It's never been good for anybody. Actually,
you're going to be on the couch for 2 weeks afterwards.
Right. Threw out a disc or something.
Give them the refrigerator, dude.
I just a new refrigerator. Bought this refrigerator. I just bought it. It's like the nice Samsung with like Alexa in. It's got the whole calendar. And I can see my Ring doorbell through it. I can talk to it. You know, it plays music, and I can watch YouTube and stuff. Like, I'm not giving you my refrigerator, man.
Configured the iRefrigerator. Like, if you configured your electronic home, if you just don't want to redo the settings on rebuying the same refrigerator when you get to your new place.
I mean, considering it's my refrigerator, like, why would I just give it to them? I just thought that was ridiculous. Like, the other thing is they were like, can we also have your hot tub?
Okay. Well,
in that case, I was kind of like, yeah, okay, well, it's got a leak in it and it needs a new top. So if you're cool with that, yes. But this was after like all these other conversations, like, you're not having the fridge, like, stupid. That's not, I don't know.
you're gonna get to your new place, Casey. You're gonna wheel that dolly in the front door. You're gonna have to take the front door off the hinges to get your refrigerator through the front door. You're gonna get it in there. You can get into the kitchen and realize you already got it for a refrigerator in your new place.
The irony is that I'm pretty sure the people who are moving from the place we put an offer in are leaving their fridge. Yeah. But, you know, it's not a thing.
With me before you do these negotiations, Casey. I'm a source of excellent advice. You check with me
their
first.
fridge is garbage. It doesn't have Alexa. I can't watch YouTube on mine. That's stupid. No, I'm not giving you my friggin' fridge.
Fridge. Turn on airbrush compressor.
I literally can. I can. With my refrigerator, I can do that. From my refrigerator area, my kitchen. And it would turn my airbrush on in my office.
You're getting a snack, you're getting that last slice of pie, and you're going to go back, do some airbrushing, but you want that tank to be full of compressed air by the time you get there. So
yeah, because it doesn't take more than 2 seconds.
That fridge is taking care of several things all at once. You're multitasking.
Right. I can even go to my fridge and be like, all right, I need you to play whatever song or album or band. I want you to play that in every room in my house. And it'll do it. Okay. So I can pre-set up music for my office before I even walk in. It's an amazing fridge. It even has my daily, it has a calendar on there. Connects to my phone, my Google calendars, everything. Everything's on there. You know what it told me today? It said I got Paint Bravely at 9 o'clock with Brent. That's what it told me today. Uh-huh. That's on your agenda today. This is my fridge told me that. Not giving him my fridge.
Okay. All right. Now I feel bad. Trying to get rid of that fridge.
You should, yeah. I have a garage fridge. Maybe they want that. It's not a good fridge for food, but it works for drinks.
Okay. Man, these contracts got to be airtight. They got to specify which fridge they're talking about. If you just lift up the garage fridge.
Actually, that's a fair point. They didn't specify. I could just swap them and be like, yeah, go for it.
That closing is going to be a showdown, and you know it.
Right? Yeah.
You make eye contact, you do not break eye contact. They got to look away first. Yeah.
Yeah, right. I'm pretty sure they don't put people in the same room that are doing that for that reason.
I thought that was like the only time you ever got to meet them is when.
No, you don't meet them.
Okay.
No. Although we almost did on accident, but it's a whole other thing that I won't go into because it's not important. But yeah, Sonic Dreadnought, that's pretty fun.
Okay.
Yeah, sell the house.
See that D&D trailer?
I did see the D&D trailer. Chris Pine looking old.
Yeah, it's
a
been
little bit.
12, 13 years since Star Trek 2009. Yeah.
12, 13 years.
Yeah. Anyway, the D&D trailer, I thought it looked promising. I thought it looked very promising.
Yeah, I mean, even for a trailer, like, the effects were pretty good. It seemed well balanced, I guess. The characters seemed pretty fun. Mm-hmm. They're playing with some of the tropes a little bit. You know, Chris Pine, the hero, is also the bard.
Perfect.
It looks like he has a musical number at some point, which should be pretty great.
Yeah.
Michelle Rodriguez is a barbarian. It's like, okay, I'll buy that.
Wonderful.
That's cool. Just kind of mixing things up. Like, that's cool.
Heck
I like it. Yeah. And that girl who plays the Thing that I can't remember her name, and that dude that I don't know his name.
Owlbear.
Yeah.
The Owlbear. I don't know the name of the actress. But.
No, she was in something recently, and I don't remember what it was. She's very familiar, though.
Okay. But yeah, you got Michelle Rodriguez, you got Chris Pine, you got an Owlbear, there was Gelatinous Cube, Displacer Beast, there was a Mimic.
Mimic looked cool, yeah.
Look, one, I'm going to watch the movie. I hope I'll enjoy it. But two, hope this gets more people into D&D. And then once they're into D&D, they get into those painting those minis. They get painting bravely.
Yeah, they get them frameworks models. Oh,
That's how we get them.
Yeah.
So all of you listeners, you tell your fridge to remind you to go and see that movie and to bring your friends to that movie. And then that's how you get your friends into all this business here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That'd be a fun. Have we talked about that ever before? I think we have. Like 40 episodes ago. Like how to get your friends
into this
crowd. Yeah. Did we ever talk about that?
Probably.
We should talk about that more.
I don't know. I rely on mass media to do this job for us.
I think that's not a great way to do it, but yeah.
Next year, 2023,
right, exactly.
Chris Pine is taking care of this. Chris Pine, Michelle Rodriguez, and that one owlbear, yeah.
But mass media previous in the D&D world has brought us D&D, like Dungeons and Dragons, the movie with one of the Wayans brothers and Mario Fuentes or something. I can't even remember who the main guy was.
I did not hear good things, but I have not seen it yet.
On a whim, like a year ago, I saw it on sale on my Roku TV, right? Because they have like a Fandango movie section you can buy stuff from. It was like $1.99. I'm like, I'm never giving this one a shot because I heard it was so bad. I watched about 10 minutes and I have not watched it since. Like I couldn't commit. For $2, I couldn't do it.
It's pretty rare that I turn off a movie halfway through, but it happens.
Same though. Like I will sit through, like especially if I paid for it. I don't care if I paid $1 or $20. Like
I
did pay for the movie, but man, I couldn't take it.
Not often. Starship Troopers 2. That one I got halfway through.
I want to say I finished that. I finished the other one, and then when Rico came back and like Starship Troopers 8.5 or some such, that was. Yeah. Those are bad.
That's a lot to think about. Pretty sure that's a board game.
Starship Troopers might be.
Ooh, I went to my thrift store and they had a board game for Halo, and the minis in the board game didn't look that bad, but this was right in the middle of me clipping spruce. I'm like, no, I'm trying not to put tons of crap in my basement.
You were freeing up space so you could fit more crap. I thought that was the hoarder way.
Maybe I'll go right back over to that thrift store and see if they still have that Halo board game.
You didn't pounce on the deal.
They had a couple of Spartans, Master Chief in there. It looked like they had a couple of the elites from the Covenant.
Sure.
Was
this the Clicks version?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure. And the terrain, there was actually a little bit of like plastic terrain, a few ledges and stuff that didn't look half bad.
All right.
I was close.
I can't believe you didn't buy it.
I'm pretty surprised too, honestly.
Was it like $2?
Really, I'm just committing this to record that I do not always accumulate crap, even when you should. It would be pretty reasonable, even if there'd be a pretty good excuse to do so. Yeah.
I bought like, I don't know, 200 like Mech Warrior Clicks minis at a thrift store that I've never done anything with because I had to.
We did talk about this 40 episodes ago. This was one where you stared down somebody who was clearly going to take them if you didn't, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I took them.
So good.
It's from like some older lady who was like trying to get a bunch of stuff. Yeah, it was very awkward.
What else? Ooh, I played another game of 40K. I lost again because I keep getting partnered with my friend Alex, and neither of us read the rules or the objectives or anything.
Yeah. It's your friend Alex. He's got to go.
It was fun. I mean, I always enjoy hanging out with, but yeah, we keep doing these 2v2 teams because we each bring a small army. We double up and do the doubles, and one team was 2 Eldar players who had both read their rules and they had their note cards, and Mark and Angie over there with their cheat sheets, and they're definitely re-rolling ones. Look, Mark and Angie were spending command points on things other than re-rolling to wound with a Dark Lance weapon.
All right.
They were spending command points for things other than re-rolls.
Right. And some of them psychic abilities.
They had psychic ability. That was another thing. They had psychic abilities.
Well, I'm already seeing a little bit of a problem here, right? So you played 2v2. Where you're Dark Eldar and Alex is what, orcs? Okay. Yep. Zero synergy. Not an army together that has rules. So limited already because you're not playing 2,000 points, right? But then Mark and Angie over there playing, 1,000 points of Eldar apiece? Creating a fully functional, but generally.
One was blue Eldars and one was yellow Eldars, so they had different special rules, that's for sure.
Don't think that matters when they share the same keywords and rules in general. Like, they're like, well, I'm re-rolling once because that blue fella is next to my yellow fella.
I don't know if they were sharing their ones re-rolls.
I feel like
I have no way of adjudicating how they were determining that they got to re-roll every single time they missed. I have no idea how they were arriving at that conclusion. I trust them though. Like, I do trust them.
Sure. They're probably telling the truth. I'm not saying they're trying to cheat you. I'm just saying that, like, when it comes down to it, it was basically, here's an entire army versus 3/4 or like half of an army of 2 other people. Like, that's not necessarily, just even on paper, gonna end well for you or the orcs.
They were definitely saying things like re-roll all misses. Like, I was catching like certain phrases
for
like that
any
kept
of these
up.
Keywords.
And, and then they'd tell me how many of my Dark Eldar to put away. And then they'd tell me to take a morale test and to put some more Dark Eldar away. And I don't know. I got them all back in the box eventually. It seemed all right. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
So you might be getting played a little bit, but not necessarily on purpose. I think just
it's all fun. Me and Alex were having fun. Content. I get to complain on this podcast. Someday I'll make a video where I get to complain there. It's all good. It's all good. You know, my army started the game out in the open because that looks cool, and the whole point of the game is to look cool and be thematic. All of their army started hiding behind what I call Coward Rock on the map. Like, all of their armies, like, completely out of line of sight, just all clustered up behind Coward Rock. And then they'd pop out to shoot, and then they'd run back behind Coward Rock. Like,
sure.
Just like a thematic army would. Yeah.
Okay, so I take back everything I said. They were just playing correctly, that's all.
Fine.
That's fair.
Yeah. No, it does. Look, again, I trust them. I think they were playing correctly.
I'm sure they were. And anyways, the bottom line is you had a good time.
Oh yeah, me and Alex were like hanging out and talking to each other while the other people were looking at their rule books and muttering while they were doing things with their dice boxes.
They were bonding in their way. You were bonding in your way.
They tell us how many orcs and how many lads to take off the table and
good. Yeah.
And somehow killing a bunch of Gretchen allowed them to get close enough to my Dark Eldar that they just like kept walking on into my Dark Eldar. They called it a consolidation move, and my Dark Eldar didn't get to shoot that turn because they were all dead from getting chopped up by Eldar weapons.
Yeah, them Wraith Knights and such.
Yeah, the word Wraith was used. Yeah,
a lot of Wraith.
It was
little guys.
Wraith
Lords. Yeah, okay.
A Revengeancer, does that sound right?
I don't know. It's been a while.
The Guardian is definitely a Guardian. Avenger, Mass
Avengers.
Avenger.
Yes, Avengers.
No, Avengers, Dark Avengers. Look, I don't know this game. I don't know.
Oh man.
But me and Alex were learning a lot. And
Dark Reapers.
Reapers.
Yeah. Dark Reapers.
So
anyways,
I convinced Alex and Angie to give one-page rules a try. Mark's a little bit iffy. he's put a lot of effort into reading his codex and like spent a lot of money on it. So I don't know if he's quite there with one-page rules yet, but
yeah,
I can convinced Alex and Angie to give it a try. So one of these days we'll play one-page rules, and I will read all 16 pages of those rules, and we'll get to it.
Yeah. I'm pretty curious about one-page rules. Obviously, they have rat men. Thank you. I know. Their models are really cool. They got lots of good stuff in there. I've heard a lot of good things about it. I kind of wish I could legitimately buy hardcover or softcover versions of their stuff and not just have a PDF, because honestly, like, having a PDF, I'm not going to read it like as diligently or go through it. Like, having the tactile paper, like, honestly helps. I don't know.
I love rule books. Take that down to the Kinkos. Do what you got to do.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Some people like that. Some people love a good excuse to go to the Kinkos and tell them what kind of cardstock they like. Yeah, some people love that.
15 pages. Yeah. Oh, man. Well, I picked up like a Warcry box, a bunch of stuff, and like the dude that I bought it from had done that with the Warcry book. Like, he went and like had it spiral bound and cut properly. It's very nice. Like, it does make it like way nicer. Like, because it doesn't just flop back closed, you know, you're on page 58 or some such, and it'll just close. So you gotta, like, bookmark
spiral bound, yeah.
Yeah, but you spiral bound that, you just fold it open, set it down, you're good to go. So yeah, it made me, like, kind of want to do that with a lot of the books. I mean, I want to say that that's pretty expensive, though. Like, so unless you're, like, committed to playing that game, like, that's a bad idea. Those books can be expensive.
$55? Is it less than $55?
I want to say that, like, doing spiral bound at like Office Depot or Office Max or whatever is like $30 or $40. I don't know for sure. I worked there like 20 years ago, so I think that's how much it was then. But
get yourself a PDF rule book. Get yourself a one-page rules rule book.
Yeah.
And go into Kinko's with $55 and get the most premium print of that you can get.
You know what? That makes me feel better about it. I'm going to do that. And I will 100% be reading that book because
that's a video
I spent
right
that money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get into your party van, you be like, okay, we're going to go down to the Kinko's. We are going to use this Codex money to get the nicest one-page rules rule book anybody has ever gotten.
So you know how you had that story about the squirrel in your wall?
Uh-huh.
So I've had this mouse problem in my party van.
Your party van, okay. It's going to be like, is this going to come up in the inspection?
No, actually, I did just kill a mouse under my sink the other day. Because there was definitely a mouse.
Matt, you might want to edit that out so we don't have any sort of like legally binding records of knowledge of... Okay, tell me about your party van. Okay.
So I go to get in it the other day, and it has that distinct smell. There's 100% a dead mouse in there, and I don't know where it is. I cannot find it. Yeah. So like I loaded it up with a bunch of stuff from inside the house to get it clean, and so now there's just a ton of stuff sitting in the van, and it's like baking in 100-degree weather, and it's not good. And I've had to move it several times, and it's like I'm on the edge every time I get in. It's really bad. I just wanted to share that because, why not? Why not?
I'm rooting for you. I know you're going to find it. You're going to find it and be able to air that out sometime in the next 6 months.
The worst part is when you don't find it, and then the smell dissipates anyways because it's too far gone.
Too far gone, yeah.
Yeah.
It has done maximal damage to your nose at that point. It could not have been any worse.
Right. That just reminded me of that a little bit, so I thought I'd share that. Yeah.
Skaven in the party van before you got Skaven in 40K. That's how it goes.
Yeah, exactly. But actually doing that with the one-page rules, not a terrible idea. I know it's like 15 pages or whatever, but maybe if I throw in like a bunch of the codexes and whatnot, or whatever they call them.
Get the core rules and then all of the, I don't know, faction supplements or whatever they call them.
Yeah, whatever they call them.
Bring all that down there.
I have them all.
Get your mad money. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I've had them for a while. I just I got them. I was excited.
Yeah.
And then I literally just was like, PDF, huh? That's fun. That was that.
Get that high weight paper. Get the
get the like glossy stuff too. Yeah, that super high gloss, like 10-pound paper or whatever. Yeah, real thick stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, resume paper. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Make something real fancy. I wonder if they have a cover too. I make my own cover. Ooh. Yeah. 1-page rules, not actually 1 page.
That's a good cover.
Yeah. We'll get that in, some fancy type font, something real good, real specific.
Yeah, and take that to Kinko's, take that to Staples, takes that to Office Max, Office Depot. You go to all these places, you see who gets you the best.
Yeah,
the best deal for $55.
I'll shop around.
Yeah, really good. Well, on that note.
Thank you again for joining us on another episode of Paint Bravely. If you enjoyed this podcast, please help us out by leaving us a review on iTunes, subscribing to the YouTube channel, and sharing this message with your hobby friends. As always, we appreciate each and every one of you for listening, and we will talk to you next time.
Talk to you next time.